The voice you are about to hear belongs to one of these young men. Listen.
She was afraid to come out of the locker. She was as nervous as she could be. She was afraid to come out of the locker. She was afraid that somebody would say,
2, 3, 4, tell the people what she was.
it was an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, yellow polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time today. An itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, yellow polka dot bikini. So in the locker she wanted to stay.
What is your name, please?
My name is Brian Hyland.
What is your name, please?
My name is Brian Hyland.
What is your name, please?
My name is Brian Hyland.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Brian Hyland and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. And now, here is our host, Jim Fleming.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To Tell the Truth is brought to you this week by Camel Cigarettes. And it's a great pleasure for me to be sitting in for my good friend Bud Collier and to be in the good company of this vivacious, witty, and astonishing panel. And now, let's meet our panel. First, Mr. Tom Poston. Next, Miss Kitty Carlisle. Then Mr. Chester Morris. And finally, Miss Polly Bergen. And a cordial welcome to you, Chester Morris. You're a detective in your new Diagnosis Unknown series, aren't you?
That's right, Jim. Tuesday nights, 10 to 11.
Oh, well, here's Thursday night. You can deduce with us.
I'll try.
Panel, will you follow along with me as you take out your affidavits and read them for the first time, and follow along as I read this first affidavit. I, Brian Hyland, am one of a family of 8 children. I started to sing at the age of 9 as a choir boy and have been singing at every opportunity since. The recording you heard just a minute ago is entitled Itsy-Bitsy, Teeny-Weeny, Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. It is only the second record I've ever made, and it's going like a rocket. In the short space of 4 weeks, it has already sold nearly 1 million copies, signed Brian Hyland. That's it, panel. Each of these young men claims to be Brian Hyland, the man who recorded Itsy-Bitsy, Teeny-Weeny, Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. Whatever became of those songs like Who and Ramona. So let's start the questioning with Polly Bergen.
Oh, I'm thrilled to death because, first of all, I must say that I adore that song. I think it's absolutely the most adorable thing I ever heard. My daughter, Kathy, sings it constantly. Number one, there is counting in the record. How high up do they count?
It goes from 2 to 4.
Are you satisfied, Polly?
Too high for Polly. You lost her at
Number two, how many weeks did it take for Itsy-Bitsy, Teeny-Weeny, Yellow Polka Dot Bikini to reach the top 10?
About a week and a half. Almost 2 weeks.
Almost 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
Number three, could you tell me the number one song in the country?
I'm Sorry by Brenda Lee. Thank you.
I beg your pardon?
Thank you, Polly. He's sorry,
hear
he said. He was sorry, and that's it. You see? Tom Poston,
Number 3, what did you say after you said I'm sorry?
By Brenda Lee.
What?
I'm Sorry by Brenda Lee. That's number 1.
I'm sorry.
What did you say, dear, after you said I'm sorry? Number 1, who is the real Charlie Close?
I don't know.
First of all, do you know anything about banjo players?
No, I don't.
Do you, number 2?
No.
Number 3, who's the best banjo player in the country?
I don't know.
Do you know anybody named Suggs?
Eddie Peabody.
Well, okay, we all have our opinion. Number 2, do you know what the 3 major guitar chords are in rock and roll?
No, I don't. G is 1 is all I know.
Thank you, Tom. Kitty Carlisle.
Number one, do you read music?
No, I don't.
My daughter also likes this song, and I don't know the whole thing, so I can't ask how high you count. I only know Itsy-Bitsy, Teeny-Weeny, yellow polka dot. I thought it was a blue polka dot bikini. She's got it all wrong. Number 2, when did you start to, where did you make this recording?
Where?
Yeah.
Regent Studios.
Where, in New York?
Yes.
Do you read music?
No, I don't.
Number 3, you don't read music either, no. Do you read music?
No.
Thank you, Kitty. Chester Ross.
Number 1, did you write this bikini song yourself?
No, I didn't.
Number 2, what label was this recorded under?
It was on Leader, a subsidiary of Cap.
I see. Number 3, how do you train your hair like that so I can tell my boy? It's an awful time. Number 1, can you record us? Why don't you record a song like Three Little Froggies, something sensible like we used to have? Remember that?
Thank you, Chester. We'll never know. And now, panel, it's time to vote. So without consultation, will you mark your itsy-bitsy ballots? And will you select number 1, number 2, or number 3? Our team of challengers, by the way, will get $250 for each incorrect vote from our panel. Has the voting been completed, panel?
Could you have each one of them sing a couple of bars, Jim?
I think, just because I'm new here, you shouldn't do that to me, Bob.
No, I take advantage of Bud, too.
All right, time to vote. Let's get it 1, 2, or 3 and see where we stand on Itsy-Bitsy, Teeny-Weeny. Tom Poston, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3 under protest. Because I don't have any brain with me tonight. I have one, but it's home. And I was going to vote for number 1 at first, but I touted myself off of that, and I hope I'm right or wrong, as the case may be.
Do you read music? Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 1. I think number 2 gave the best answers, but when number 1 said his name, he started to smile, but he starts to smile anytime anybody says anything about him, so it must be a stick.
Chester Morris.
I voted for number 3. He's a good-looking fellow, and I'd like to see him get ahead.
And now, Polly Bergen, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3 because I was in hopes maybe he could give me some clue as to how to get a record that sells $1 million.
I think you read music, I'm afraid. You're out.
Well, that does hold you back. I know that.
Well, the votes are all in, and now let's find out which of these 3 gentlemen recorded Itsy-Bitsy, Teeny-Weeny, Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. Will the real Brian Hyland please stand up? Well, congratulations to you, Brian, and congratulations to you, panel, on your splendid work there.
2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3,
2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4. That's why I didn't vote for number 1, which shows you how bright I am.
Number 1, will you tell us who you really are?
My name is Dennis Pape, and I work for Spice Time Spice Company.
Sounds interesting. Number 2, how about you?
I'm Dixon Beale, and I'm the production assistant on Captain Kangaroo on CBS.
Well, there's been only 1 incorrect vote. That means a total of $250 from Camels. Thanks and lots of good luck to you and many more hits to Brian and to all of you. Apparently, if you don't read music, anyone can do this. Thanks very much. Now, have you ever fired one of these? If you have, you know how tough it is to hit anything. But here is a real marksman. And now, let's have our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joby Arnold.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joby Arnold.
What is your name, please?
My name is Joby Arnold.
Please listen while I read this affidavit. I, Joby Arnold, am a racetrack handicapper. I am employed by the track and make the official selections which appear in the racing program. I also make daily race selections for a newspaper. I've been riding horses since I was 3 years old. I am a licensed exercise girl. I am at the track every morning clocking the workouts and preparing my selections for the day. Of the 8 newspaper handicappers in our town, I rank first in picking horses that finish in the money. Signed, Joby Arnold. Well, panel, these 3 most attractive young ladies all claim to be Joby Arnold, racetrack handicapper. Let's start our cross-examination with Mr. Tom Poston.
Thank you, Jim. Number 3, what's the difference between a curb bit and a hackamore?
A curb and a hackamore? Well, a curb bit is stronger than a hackamore and has a hoop in the middle of it.
Thank you. Number 2, what is vigorish?
Feeling good.
Number 1.
Haven't you ever got
But we know, don't we, out there? Number 1, please. Do you know who handicaps for the New York Post?
For the New York Post?
Yes, please.
No, I'm afraid I don't know the Post.
Don't know about the Post.
I mean, who handicaps?
Do you know, number 1, why are horses called bang tails?
Because their tails are tied up sometimes.
That's a pretty vigorous answer, Tom. Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, what does pari-mutuel mean?
Pari-mutuel's a machine that...
No, but what does pari mean? P-A-R-I. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Number 2, do you know?
I haven't had that much foreign language.
Do you know number 1?
No, I don't.
Number 1, who owns the Calumet stables?
The Calumet?
Mm-hmm. Number 3, who owns the Calumet stables? Number 2?
Mrs. Jean Markey.
Number 3, can you tell me what time you get up to go to clock your horses?
I have to get up about 4 o'clock.
And they start running what time?
Oh, they can start anywhere from 4:30 to 5, sometimes 5:30.
Thank you, Kitty. Chester Morris.
Number 1, just what is meant by breezing a horse?
Pardon me?
Breezing a horse.
Breezing a horse? That's working him out.
Working him out, I see. Could you tell me, number 2, the owner of the famous horse Seabiscuit?
I believe it's a California person.
There are a lot of people out there.
Howard?
Mr. Howard. Number 3, you're a handicapper, and are you allowed to go out nights?
Certainly.
That's all I wanted to know.
I think you've made an engagement, if you wish. Polly Bergen.
Tom, what does vigorish mean?
It means when you're feeling right good.
Thank you. Number 3, first of all, where do you handicap?
I handicap at Bowie, Maryland.
I beg your pardon? Bowie, Maryland. Maryland, number 2, where...
Riverdown, Cincinnati, Ohio.
They always pick different places so you can't send anybody down. Have you ever?
Yeah.
All right, number 2, what's the main route, highway going through Cincinnati? Going from the East Coast to the West Coast?
Route 66?
Thank you, Polly. Time is up.
All of you detoured a little. I guess you could get on this.
Again, it's time to vote. No consultation. And will you please mark your ballots, panel, and select number 1, number 2, or number 3. No consultation, please.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Oh, I was going to vote for her anyway.
All right. Well, then. Are the ballots all marked, panel? Are we ready to go? Okay, Tom Poston, let's
Well,
see where you stand.
I did what seems like a foolish thing in view of the fact that she didn't appear to know what vigorish is unless she just misunderstood the word. But I still voted for number 2 anyway on the strength of the other answers. Hackamore, of course, is really something else.
Tom, what is vigorish?
Vigorish is the bookmaker's percentage on a bet over the odds.
Thanks a lot.
Did you know that, number 2?
Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 2. She gave me the answer to the owner of Calumet Farms, and I believe she's the one.
Chester Morris?
I just changed fast here.
I'm very sorry now. You can't, as you know, the votes are, once you've made it, it's final, and so we're going to have to credit your vote, but you can mark it, but it won't count at all.
Won't count at all?
No, I'm sorry, Chester. The game is played fair and square, and here's Polly Bergen.
I don't see why
understand why we can't cheat a little I mean, the odds are rough enough as it is.
All right, Polly.
I don't like you saying I'm not fair and square.
I said you were fair and square.
Captain Ritter is always fair and square.
I voted for number 2 before Tom voted for number 2. And I'm probably as wrong as Tom is.
Yeah, you
bet.
bet.
I was confused. I was thinking Route 40 went through Cincinnati, but I think I had it confused with Columbus, so she may be right. Anyway, it doesn't make any difference because I voted for her anyway.
All right, the minds are made up, and now let's see. Which of these 3 ladies is the real racetrack handicapper? Will the real Joby Arnold please stand? And Miss Arnold, you're the official handicapper, I'm told, at the River Downs Racetrack in Cincinnati, Ohio. Congratulations, and keep up, I suppose. It's the good work.
Well, I've been handicapping since May for Mr. Leon Slavin, the president, and tomorrow I start with the Cincinnati Turf Club, which is also at River Downs.
Well, lots of luck, as they say. Thank you. Number 1, would you tell us about yourself?
My name is Celia Batten, and I'm a receptionist, but I'm looking for a job at the time.
Well, good luck to you. And number 3, will you tell us about yourself?
My name is Heather Shaw, and I'm a secretary also looking for a job.
Well, there has been one incorrect vote due to an over-vigilant chairman here, Chester.
But honest.
You're an honest chairman, I can see that. It means a total of $250 from Camels, and on your way out, there's a carton of Camels for each of you. Thanks, and lots of good luck, and all that.
Thank you.
Goodbye. I have a riddle for you, ladies and gentlemen. What is it that takes off with a truck, flies without a motor, lands without wheels? We'll see right after this question. And now let's have our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Clifford Keach.
What is your name, please?
My name is Clifford Keach.
What is your name, please?
My name is Clifford Keach.
Panel, will you please listen as I read this affidavit? I, Clifford Keach, am captain of the Maid of the Mist II, one of the famous sightseeing boats which take tourists through the cataracts at the foot of Niagara Falls. On July 9th, while on a regular run with 60 passengers aboard, I was startled to see a small figure in an orange life jacket bobbing in the water at the foot of Horseshoe Falls. After some delicate maneuvering, we got the boy aboard. Despite the fact that he had been swept over the falls, he had sustained only a few minor cuts and bruises. Several men have gone over the falls in elaborate barrels or other shock-resistant containers. This 7-year-old boy is the only human being in history to have gone over Niagara Falls with no protective equipment and lived. Signed, Clifford Keach. All right, panel. Each one of these gentlemen claims to be the real Clifford Keach, the captain of the Maid of the Mist that was involved in that astonishing adventure. And let's begin our questioning with Miss Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Jim. I'm very proud to be questioning whichever one of you is Captain Keach. It was a remarkable thing that you did.
Not as remarkable as the kid.
But if you hadn't been there and found him, what would have happened to the poor kid?
He'd have probably swam to shore.
Number 1, what is the name of the 3 islands before the falls?
Well, actually, are you talking about the Canadian side or the American side?
Well, on the other side of the falls where the boys were coming down in the little boat.
Well, we have Oaks Park.
The 3 islands.
Oaks Park. Then we have the Grand Island. And then we have... Well,
Number 2, can you tell me what the little boy said when you got him on board the boat?
Well, his first intelligent remarks were about his sister. He wanted to know what had happened to his sister.
Thank you. Number 3, how many feet
I'm
to the
sorry,
falls?
Kitty. Chester Morris.
Number 1, how big a boat is Maid of the Mist?
Well, she's 66 feet with a 16-foot beam.
I see. Number 2, how many times did you throw the preserver to the boy, life preserver?
Well, actually, my mate helped me, Mr. Hartney. Altogether, I believe we threw it 3 times.
Number 3, what did they do with the boy after the accident?
Pulled him ashore, took him ashore, and sent him up in an ambulance to the hospital.
I see. Number 1, how close were you to the falls?
About 150 feet.
150 feet.
Polly Bergen?
Number 1, how far did the boy fall down the falls?
Well, actually, he fell 167 feet.
Number 3, where exactly was his sister rescued?
Above the falls.
How close to the falls?
Approximately 15 feet from the brink.
Number 2, I know that you saw the boy and he yelled for help and you started to throw the life preserver to him. Did he speak after that while you were trying to save him? Before you brought him on board?
We heard him making noises, making sounds, so we knew that the boy was alive. We couldn't distinguish what he was saying.
Thank you, sir. Tom Poston.
Number 3, do you happen to know when Sam Haynes worked on the Maid of the Mist? Not yours. Not the second, on the first Maid of the Mist.
Sorry.
You know number 2?
Well, the first Maid of the Mist first and Maid of the Mist second worked together. I've never heard the man's name.
Number 1, do you remember when Sam Haynes worked on the Maid of the Mist?
Name doesn't mean anything.
He was a stowaway, probably.
Number 3, what are the other names of the big falls besides Horseshoe?
American Falls.
And what's the other one?
Bridal Veil.
Thank you. Number 2, what is the other island that number 1 couldn't remember on the south shore?
Goat Island.
Pardon me?
Grand Island, Goat Island.
Thank you. All right, panel, it's time to discover which one of these gentlemen is the real Clifford Keach involved in that great human drama at Niagara Falls. Time to vote, so will you mark your ballots and select number 1, number 2, or number 3.
Wait a minute, one last look.
And no consultation, please. And once your mind's made up, that's it.
Is it all right if I ask you?
You can ask me anything, Polly.
Which one is it?
I'm sorry, I don't really know. Are the ballots all marked and set to go? Tom Poston, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 3. I don't know. Well, I'll tell you, I had a choice between 1, 2, and 3, and this is it.
Kitty Carlisle.
Well, I voted for number 2. His complexion put me off. He ought to be more sunburned like number 1. But number 3 said they pulled him ashore instead of put him ashore, which is a more nautical phrase, I think. And number 1 couldn't remember the island. I thought it was 3 sister islands that he went by.
We'll have to find out. Chester Morris.
I voted for number 1 because he knew the size of the boat he commanded.
Sounds logical.
The way he really does things.
Thanks, Captain.
Polly Bergen, I'm sorry I can't help you. You'll just have to reveal your own decision.
Well, there you are. I voted for number 3. It was... number 2 was... his answers were really very brilliant. But number 3, the color was a little better. He was a little quieter. My nurse always says that's the one.
Well,
and
the votes...
altogether, I sort of leaned toward him.
Thank you, Polly. The votes are all in, the minds are made up, and now let's find out which one of these 3 gentlemen is the real captain of the Maid of the Mist. Will the real Clifford Quiche please stand up?
Get up, sir. Number
6. Well, should we find out about those islands? Captain Quiche, could you tell us about the islands that we're asking
3
about?
sisters.
3 sisters.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right, thank you. Number 1, will you tell us who you are?
My name is Hank Leonard, and I'm a sales engineer for the Blow and Ox Company Power Piping Division.
Number 2? Thank you, sir. Number 2, who are you?
My name is Neil Robinson. I'm a Master Sergeant in the United States Army Signal Corps, and I'm a television director.
Well, you were a grand team of challengers, and there have been 2 incorrect votes. I'm delighted to say that means a total of $500 from Camels. And on your way out, there's a carton of Camel cigarettes for each of you. And congratulations to you, Captain, on that splendid rescue. I join the panel in passing along the good wishes of all of us. Thank you. Now, something short and sweet from our alternate sponsor, Helene Curtis. Our time is just about up, but just this serious note. Did you know that in the brief time this program has been on the air, 2 people usually die in automobile accidents and almost 90 people injured in traffic accidents? It's tragic, and yet something can be done about it. Obey the law. Simple as that. That's right. Where traffic laws are obeyed, deaths go down. Now, next week, To Tell the Truth will not be on the air. I suggest that you tune in for the CBS coverage of the Republican National Convention at this hour, and look for To Tell the Truth 2 weeks from tonight at 10:30. That's on August 4th. Well, it's been a great pleasure to be with you all. Good night, panel.
Good night, Jim.
And good night to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for Camel cigarettes. And as Bud Collier would always say, remember to tell the truth. Good night.
To Tell the Truth is a Clark Goodson and Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by